Hey everybody, it's Caleb again at Prehired. Today we're doing another success story. We've got Abner Merluza with us in Austin, Texas, and he's just got hired to a top sales team. Abner, can you tell everyone about your background a little bit and what job were you doing before Prehired?
Yes, my background was in recruiting, and prior to pre-hired, I was an operations manager for an executive search firm.
Awesome. Can you talk about what were your biggest career struggles before you actually found Prehired?
Before I found pre-hired, I was struggling to grasp the concept of my being stuck in a rut. My current company, I just felt at the time I wasn't growing any further at that point, and my earning potential was compromised, and um, finding pre-hired was certainly an option that I found intriguing when I came upon it.
And did you try to solve those struggles, like maybe a different route or before you found Prehired?
Um, not really. I was struggling to find out what my next step would be, whether I wanted to remain in the same industry, and I more or less passively looked for new opportunities within my previous industry.
Okay. So you found pre-hired. Did you have
Mhm.
any hesitations about signing up with pre-hired?
Many. I mean, I first noticed pre-hired on Facebook ads, and I quickly like skipped through it, and then it just kept on appearing. And one day, I just decided to open up the comments, and I was impressed by how Josh Jordan took the time to answer every question and every criticism and attack, if you will. And I just began my research and found little to discredit what this experience entailed.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit more about what helped you pull the trigger? What helped you overcome all those hesitations and actually join pre-hired?
Uh, the first step was actually clicking that button to get more info, and I think the admissions process kind of won me over. And I like that pre-hired provides you with like actual calls from prospective pre-hired members, and to actually hear people with similar struggles and have pre-hired present the value and what they offer um, pretty much won me over.
Okay. So you made the decision to join pre-hired. How long did the program actually take you?
I finished within six odd weeks. I think it helped that I work from home, so I kind of set aside a few hours each day to go through it, and yeah, that's all it took.
Awesome. And what did you enjoy most about the program?
I enjoyed how thorough it was. I enjoyed how our mentor constantly checked in to see where we were. Um, and that showed me that everyone genuinely cared about how we were doing, how we were taking in all the information. And I like that it's constantly being updated. And that's another thing that I found impressive is that beyond the program, once you finish and you're certified, you can always go back to it, and there's always going to be some new content that'll help your career.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And is there anything that you feel could have been better about the program?
I could say that I possibly could have done more in the way of attacking my initial outreach. And obviously, as you know, I had to recalibrate after the new year, and I like that you specifically reached out to me and spent time to come up with a strategy to refresh the search.
Mhm.
And I think that in itself pretty much yielded results. I think within a week, I got the interview at my current company, and then things just kind of fell into place along with other interviews that were happening at the time. And um, it was actually one of the top companies that I honed in on. So um, it was a win-win for everybody.
That's awesome, man. And
Yeah.
can you expand on that a little bit and tell people about what specific results you got on your job search? And then, ultimately, what was it like getting hired?
So once you had instructed me to send three three cadences, set up three cadences to three contacts within a top company. I would say my initial outreach comprised of like 20 companies, and I probably spoke to interviewed officially with like five, and then had a face-to-face interview set up with like two out of the five. One unfortunately um, canceled because they had filled the role, but that was fine. I was moving rather quickly with the company that I had targeted as one of my top choices. And it consisted of one pre-screen with the recruiter, and then an on-site interview with three people: the VP, the director of sales, and another sales manager. And within a week, within a few days, they asked for references, and then I was presented an offer within one week of my on-site interview.
Amazing, man. Amazing. Abner, lastly, what would you say to anyone who's been following Prehired for a while, but they're still on the fence about getting started? They're just having a hard time making up their mind. What would you say to someone like that?
I would say do it. Pre-hired lays out everything for you to succeed. It's very easy to follow, but bear in mind that you have to do the work. And take it from me, I had my struggles. It took me a little longer than most, through no fault of pre-hires, but pre-hire is always going to be with you every step of the way. I mean, Caleb, you picked up you picked up the ball, and you kind of like kind of brought me back uh, in line to get me back to where I ultimately wound up. So I would just say, just focus, do the work, follow what your mentor like recommends that you do, and you will absolutely get hired at a company of your choice.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it from Abner Merluza. We really appreciate you being with us today. I know you're extremely busy at your new job now, so I will let you
Mhm.
back at it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Caleb.